Hi, you guys, it's Liz Crokin. I'm here to do a quick update. Wasn't even going to do an update today, but there's so much going on. Mostly good news, so lots of exciting stuff going on in terms of combating sex trafficking, so let's just get right into it. So, first I want to start off with Buzzfeed. Buzzfeed, as we know, Buzzfeed is the corrupt media organization that was behind the publishing of the fake Russia dossier that tried to take down President Trump. I'm sure you guys all remember the fake Russia dossier that we now know was fake and actually funded by Hillary Clinton and her corrupt cronies. So anyways, no one would publish this fake dossier that was so ridiculous. It even alleged that President Trump was in Russia and had a threesome with, I believe it was Russian prostitutes, and they engaged in like a golden shower. I mean, it's like so ridiculous, but it was nicknamed the PP dossier. So anyways, Buzzfeed was the only corrupt media organization that was willing to publish this false information, complete and total garbage, okay? So recently, we've had sex trafficking finally in the news, and I actually wrote for Town Hall when I was still working for them in one of my last columns that the sex trafficking, that President Trump's war to end sex trafficking and the sex trafficking arrests that are happening because of him under his watch would get so big that the mainstream media would not be able to ignore it. And I wrote that in February of 2017. One of the first things that President Trump did when he was sworn into office was to address sex trafficking. He did it from the White House in a listening session, and the media was there. The White House press pool was there. They refused to cover it. I was one of the very few people that covered it, and I don't know of anyone in the mainstream media that covered it. So anyways, okay, so Buzzfeed, back to Buzzfeed. I'm getting a little distracted here. Okay, so get ready to want to scream. Buzzfeed came out with a story yesterday with the headline, "The sex trafficking panic is based on myths." You can't see it, sorry guys. Anyways, you actually don't even Google it. Don't give them any clicks. Don't go to their page. Don't give them any clicks. You can go to my Twitter account. I posted screenshots of this disgusting piece, but sex trafficking is trying to say that Buzzfeed is trying to say that the sex trafficking epidemic isn't real. We have 800,000 missing children a year. That's just in this country, okay? This is the biggest epidemic in the world. Child sex trafficking is the biggest and most profitable black market business, and it goes side to side with organ harvesting and taking the blood from these children, but it's the biggest black market business in the world. It is the most profitable black market business in the world, and tons of the elites are involved, including the mainstream media, which is why they are actively covering it up, and they are lying about it. They are actively lying about it because they don't want you to know about it. They don't want to get caught, and many of them are directly involved with child sex trafficking. So anyways, Buzzfeed wrote this disgusting, piece about how the sex trafficking is just a myth, and there's been tons of outlets in the mainstream media that have said it's not true. President Trump really isn't taking down sex trafficking rings. He's really not going after pedophiles. I'm attacked constantly, sometimes every single day. There's hit pieces all over the internet written about me saying that I'm a conspiracy theorist for saying that President Trump is going after pedophiles and taking down sex trafficking rings. I mean, it's so sick. And it's like, you really got to think, you really got to wonder about these so-called journalists that are putting out pieces attacking people that are trying to save children, attacking people that are shedding light on this darkness that's plagued our planet. You gotta really question these people. Like, what is in their closet? Like, why are they trying to protect pedophiles? Why are they trying to cover up the rape, torture, and murder of children? Like, what is going on here? So Buzzfeed wrote this piece, and anyone that follows me on social media, especially Twitter, I'm still in Facebook jail, by the way. I was all over it yesterday. I was just going on and on, exposing Buzzfeed, calling them out for the fake Russia dossier, blah 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 blah. A side note with Buzzfeed. whenever I see something like this, I go, okay, how are they tied to Hillary Clinton? How are they tied to the deep state? And usually it only takes a few minutes to find links to people that are involved in child sex trafficking. But one thing that I will mention, and again, you guys can all go to my Twitter, at LizCrokin, LizCrokin. But one connection, sorry, I'm trying to find it in my feed. I tweet so much. One connection that I thought was really, really interesting, that I made about Buzzfeed last night. Okay, I'm getting there. Hold on, you guys. Okay, the CEO, this is what I found out. I did a little research, just a little research. The CEO of Buzzfeed's big investors, or one of their biggest investors, he's a huge Hillary Clinton supporter. No surprise there. And he also said, this was after the election, he was quoted saying, if you really wanted the truth about the election of 2016, you would have read Breitbart News. Okay, so this guy, his name is, what's his name? Mark Andreessen. So his company was one of the biggest investors in Buzzfeed. In 2014, they invested $50 million into Buzzfeed. So he's a Clinton supporter. So one of the biggest investors in Buzzfeed, basically, not only is he a Clinton supporter, but he said publicly, if you wanted the truth, he didn't say to go to Buzzfeed. He said, go to Breitbart. If you wanted the truth of what was going on with the election, go to Breitbart. So you have one of the biggest investors. He invested, think about the $50 million in Buzzfeed. And he's not saying that Buzzfeed was reporting accurate news. Like, is this his way of saying that, like, Buzzfeed is fake news? Is this his way of saying that Buzzfeed is a part of, like, Operation Mockingbird? I mean, these people are, they're admitting that they're propagandists. They are admitting that the companies they've spent millions and millions of dollars investing in are frauds. Like, why wouldn't he say this company that he invested in was the to-go place for real news? It's because they know. It's because they're part of it. It's because they're actively lying to you and they know it. They're covering up the sex trafficking. Anyways. Okay, sorry. A little rant there. So I was just going off, like, calling out Buzzfeed. By the way, but I was doing this on Twitter yesterday. Another red flag with Buzzfeed, and I've said this before, but to understand what's really happening behind the scenes and what's really going on in the news, I actually have found that fake news like BuzzFeed and CNN, they're the best indicators of, like, what's really going on behind the scenes with the storm, because I can tell by what they're covering, what they're worried about, and what the truth really is. Because if they say one thing, usually the opposite is the truth. Sadly, but that's true. So another thing that's interesting, and I've talked about this a million times, but BuzzFeed also recently came out with an article that's titled, like, you won't believe what Obama says in this video. And it looks like a video of Obama. But in the video, it has the image of, or the video of Obama saying things that he clearly didn't say. And they made this video to warn people that if any videos come out that incriminate big politicians, they're probably fake. So who talked about incriminating videos that were so evil, that implicated Hillary Clinton, that no one would be able to defend this? Q. And right after Q talked about this, and also Q warned that there's going to be a huge push, that there's fake videos, there's going to be a huge push in the mainstream media that, if any videos come out, they're fake, and, it's a conspiracy theory, blah, 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 blah. Right after Q warned us of that, we have seen all these articles come out of the woodwork in the mainstream media talking about how, you can alter videos and you can make it look like a politician is saying one thing in a video, but it's really not. And by the way, the video that they posted on BuzzFeed that was a fake video of Obama, you can tell it's fake. So, and there are technology people, and there are ways to verify and to validate if a video is fake or not. So I'm not really worried about this. And this just goes to show that these videos that involve Hillary Clinton doing horrific things 2 children that prove that they are exploiting children and involved in child sex trafficking, which many sources from the NYPD have talked about. True Pundit wrote a story on this topic. General Flynn retweeted it. Actually, General Flynn's son, Mike Flynn Jr., tweeted today reminding us about that story, because the key evidence proving that Hillary Clinton is involved in child sex trafficking was found on Anthony Weiner's laptop. This stuff is about to blow wide open, and the deep state knows it, and they're desperate and they're scared, so they're trying to get ahead of the story. That's why you see all these stories coming out, warning people of fake videos. Someone tweeted me that NBC News ran a story about this last night. And NBC News, by the way, is connected to Buzzfeed. They have some of the same owners and investors. Anyways, okay, so that happened last night, and I was all over BuzzFeed calling them out. I mean, most people know they're a joke anyway. They just totally destroyed their credibility when they published the fake dossier. They just made complete and total asses out of themselves, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so, but I still get riled up. It's just so frustrating because there's a lot of people out there, especially older people that aren't on social media, that don't they don't have access to, YouTube and videos like mine, and they don't know that they're being lied to necessarily. They don't know how corrupt the media is, and so it gets very frustrating seeing people covering up for the sex trafficking and lying like constantly in the media. So anyways, I was so pissed. I was tweeting about BuzzFeed, all night, like calling them out. And I get so frustrated when people attack me and they try to say that President Trump isn't going after sex trafficking when he has dedicated his whole entire life to this. I get so frustrated. I get frustrated for him, and he's always remains cool as a cucumber. I don't know how he deals with it. I don't know how he deals with all the attacks and the lies, and he's just trying to help children. But it was interesting because I guarantee you, he saw these stories, and he's been seeing all these stories saying that he's not going after child sex trafficking. And it was interesting because today, the White House press pool, when they were questioning President Trump said, quote, today to the White House press pool, and I'm actually shocked that people in the mainstream media have covered it. But like I said, they can't get away from it forever. They're going to be forced to cover it. And I wrote that 2016 February. Maggie Haberman from the New York Times wrote, Trump said via the press pool today, quote, human trafficking is worse than it's ever been in the history of the world, okay? So, he knows the mainstream media is lying about this and they're trying to cover up for it because they're involved in it. And so he made a point of saying this today. I'm pretty sure he probably saw what BuzzFeed wrote, and I'm sure he laughed about it because the man just is, he's just amazing, and he's able to laugh at, how ridiculous the mainstream media is. And it's harder for me too because I get so pissed off about it too. I laugh at them too though. But anyway, so he said that in the press pool today. And you know what, you guys? Go to Maggie Haberman's Twitter. It's at Maggie NYT. At Maggie MAGGIENYT. Okay? And a lot of her followers are fake. A lot of her followers are bots. A lot of the people in the mainstream media don't have as big of a following as you think they have. And then people like me have a much bigger following than Twitter is saying that we're having, because they don't want people to know that people that are exposing this have a lot of support, okay? And that people that are telling fake news don't have as big of a support as they would like you to think. But anyways, go to her tweet that says, Trump today via poll, human trafficking is worse than it's ever been in the history of the world. A lot of the responses I can tell are fake accounts, they're bots, but not all of them. The comments are disgusting. People are making jokes about that. They're making jokes about Trump. They're disregarding human trafficking. What kind of, Maggie, what kind of sick readers do you have? What kind of followers do you have? This should not be a partisan issue. Saving children from pedophile monsters should not be a partisan issue. If you are so sick of a person that you can't support President Trump from saving kids from child rapists, then there is something mentally deranged with you. You're messed up. You need help. You are not okay. If you can't support President Trump saving kids, there's something wrong with you. And if you go to her Twitter page, it's disturbing reading some of those tweets. And I encourage people to call those people out. I can only do so much. And tweet BuzzFeed too. Ask them why they're protecting pedophiles. Ask them why they don't want to combat sex trafficking. Ask them why they're lying about sex trafficking. call them out. The way to get this eradicated, the best way that we can stop child sex trafficking is shedding light on all the lies, shedding light on the pedophiles, shedding light on the mainstream media's involvement. Call these people out, confront them, pull a Laura Loomer, track John Podesta down in the street and ask him about his emails. Get it on videotape. I would tweet it. That would make my entire year. Oh, and also, I just want to add this. So that Maggie tweeted that, and I'm actually surprised. I mean, at least she tweeted that. I'm surprised that she even tweeted President Trump, his quote saying that. But I was gonna say there was, I think ICE tweeted about human trafficking today too. Okay, I can't find it. But anyways, I believe ICE tweeted about that too. Okay, another topic I want to talk about real quickly. Mike Cernovich, follow him on Twitter if you're not following him already, at Cernovich. In the Miami Herald, they are suing to get documents from lawsuits against Jeffrey Epstein to be public information. Jeffrey Epstein is the convicted pedophile billionaire who is best friends with the Clintons and many elites, who was trafficking children on his private islands. Okay? He has paid off a lot of the children that he's raped. And a lot of those court documents are sealed. Mike Cernovich, and now the Miami Herald, amazing, good job, Miami Herald. I'm actually shocked that the Miami Herald's involved in getting those documents released. Bravo. They are suing to get some of those documents released. This is huge. The reason why this is so huge is because Jeffrey Epstein is at the epicenter of this global elite pedophile network. So once this is exposed, they all fall. The house of cards is done. All the rats will be scattering. All the rats will be exposed. And people will be in the streets with pitchforks when they find out what they did to these kids on this island. They were involved in raping them, torturing them, sacrificing kids, stuff that you can't even come up with in your wildest imagination. So, we're reaching this boiling point here where so much is coming out on so many different angles that, there's going to be, these elites are not going to get away with this. There's going to be nowhere for them to hide. And just on a side note, in terms of the child sex trafficking and Mike Cernovich, who, by the way, Mike's been exposing the elite pedophilia problem for a really long time, maybe even longer than I have. He's been exposing this for a very, very long time. He's gotten a lot of heat. Anyone exposing this gets heat and gets attacked from the mainstream media. But another thing interesting yesterday, sometimes Mike will tweet, ask me any questions you want. He'll do kind of Q&A with his followers, which is cool. He engages with his followers really well. Last night, someone asked him, what is the craziest conspiracy theory you ever heard? He wrote back, ritual child sacrifice by the elite. So I didn't even see that tweet. My girlfriend saw it. She screenshotted it and she sent it to me. And I was excited because I wanted to retweet it, because having someone like him tweet that's a big deal, because he has a huge following and people need to know that this stuff goes on and it's true. So I'm looking all over his page for it. It's gone. The tweet's gone. It's gone. And I even messaged Mike and I'm like, this tweet of yours disappeared, and he wrote, wow. So I don't think he deleted it. So, it just goes to show you, Twitter has tweets, and I have found tweets that are disgusting, that are very exploitative to children. And in my point of view, it are tweets that should not be up there and potentially are illegal. There's a lot of child sex trafficking that goes on openly on Twitter, and there's accounts that I have found and I have reported, and I'll check back, in 24 hours or so, and the count's still up. Okay? Meanwhile, conservatives are getting censored and kicked off Twitter left and right. So Twitter is actively involved in covering up for pedophiles. And if you look into Twitter's ties and who runs the company, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, then you'll understand why. But that tweet just disappeared. It just vanished. Why would that disappear? Why would that vanish? And it doesn't say deleted. That's why I'm almost positive he didn't delete it. And he would have told me if he had, I believe. It doesn't say deleted because I found the guy that asked him the question. It's just gone. It doesn't say deleted. It's just gone. So that's how big the cover-up is, you guys. I mean, it's really big. Oh, and just one other little side note here. The Rothschilds are at the top of the pyramid in terms of the bloodline elite families that are involved in child sex trafficking. Another really good sign that we're winning and that us exposing and shedding light on this topic is helping to take these people down. Lynn Rothschild has been on Jeffrey Epstein's jet. So there's a direct link between Lynn Rothschild and Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, that's big. And go to my Twitter page. I've tweeted the flight log that proves that she was on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet. That probably went to his island. I have to verify if the airport code, if it was Epstein's island, but I guarantee you that she's been there probably many, 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 many times. Anyways, her Twitter page went totally dark. She wrote on Twitter, that I don't know, something about hate speech and she's not going to tweet anymore, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, people that are innocent don't go dark, okay? And who else went dark? The Standard Hotel's official verified Twitter handle also went dark. And the Standard Hotel is directly linked to Pizzagate, child sex trafficking, and pedogate. And actually, President Trump is the one that brought that to a lot of our attentions when he tweeted about Adam Schiff. He called him little, not little, little, Liddle, because he's tied into a charity that I think it's called Little Kids. I can't remember, you guys, the name of it. Little something, I'll have to Google it. But anyways, he's linked to a charity that's involved in child sex trafficking. And allegedly, they traffic kids and do spirit cooking, all that crazy stuff in the Standard Hotel. And if you actually go on the Standard Hotel's website and Instagram pages, you'll find disturbing stuff like, lots of pedophile code, like dark stuff, like satanic symbolism, pizza, pasta, like just the typical symbolism for child sex trafficking, satanic ritualistic abuse, and, I don't know, all the crazy stuff they do, whatever. But the fact that Lynn Rothschild and the Standard Hotels have both gone dark is amazing because they're being exposed and they know it and they're running scared. So keep up the good work, you guys. Keep exposing this. Keep tweeting these monsters. Keep tweeting these businesses. Tweet Little Schiff. Point out his connections to this child sex trafficking ring in Hollywood. And then finally, and this is probably what I'm most excited about, Rudy Giuliani. It broke a few hours ago that Rudy Giuliani is officially joining President Trump's legal team. And that's amazing. And that is so huge. And a lot of people may not realize how huge this is, so I'm going to explain why this is so huge, because I don't think everyone's connecting the dots here. So going back to Anthony Weiner's laptop, in 2016, NYPD officers were investigating Anthony Weiner for sexting with a minor. They seized his laptop, and on his laptop, they found bonus evidence. They found evidence in a file called Life Insurance that proved that Hillary Clinton and Uma Abedin were involved in the torture and the rape of a child. And they have also found evidence that implicates a lot of other people. But they found a video of that, and it was so horrific, it made grown police officers cry. I can't emphasize that enough. And they found evidence of that. They found evidence of child sex trafficking, child exploitation, blah, 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 blah. All right? It was going to come out, they handed that information over to the FBI. And the NYPD, the special officers that saw this video, they said, if the FBI doesn't do something about their involvement in raping and torturing and murdering children, then we're going to release the video on our own. And Doug Hagman actually reported the other day that what happened is Loretta Lynch got involved, and she told the NYPD to back off. And I don't know if she directly told them, but someone involved with Lynch and the Clintons told members of the NYPD police department that knew about the tape and had seen the tape, that if they released this tape and or information about it, they would be hurt. They would be killed. Their children would be killed. That is how the deep state operates. So people out there that are pissed that NYPD police officers haven't released this tape yet, do you have children? Would you want your children to be killed for releasing a video? Because the deep state won't think twice about killing you and your family. The deep state will target one person, will have one person that they'll want to take down and kill, and they will have no problem taking down an entire plane that one person is on. Actually, in their eyes, the more they kill, the better, because it's more sacrifices to Moloch, their demon who they worship. Okay? So, anyways, all of those police officers were threatened. They were harassed. I mean, I can't even imagine what happened to them, because I know as a journalist and my personal experience exposing this stuff and my personal experience exposing the Clintons, that I have been through hell with the threats and the intimidation. I was just followed last night. Like, all the time I'm followed, it's a horrible life. It's not fun covering this at all. My dog was poisoned. After I did a story exposing Hillary Clinton corruption, how her campaign was stealing from her donors, within 36 hours, my dog was poisoned, went into anaphylactic shock. I rushed him to the animal hospital, and it's only because I rushed him immediately and I was there that he didn't die. He was on his last breath. He couldn't move. He was vomiting and like pooing at the same time, foaming at the mouth. He couldn't even move. He looked dead. And the doctor said it's a miracle he survived. Like, thank you, Jesus. But I know that I have personally been through hell, and I don't have evidence. I don't have the video proving. I know that it exists, but I don't have the evidence. So I can't even imagine what they have put these police officers through. They've probably already hurt them. They've probably already done horrible things to them. They've threatened them. Anyways, so that's why no one has probably leaked the video yet. But all the information is going to come out. And I do believe videos will be leaked. And if they are leaked, they'll be spliced. They're not going to release illegal content to the public. Maybe on the dark web. I don't know. I don't recommend anyone to go there. Don't go there. I've never gone to the dark web, nor will I ever. But anyways, to circle this back to Rudy Giuliani, there is no one that NYPD police officers love and respect more than Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor. The mayor who was mayor of New York City when 9/11 happened, okay? Rudy Giuliani knows. He knows what was found on that laptop. He knows what was found on that laptop. He probably has seen what's on that laptop, and some people say that he even has a copy of the tapes. That man knows. He knows, and he's seen the evidence. So the symbolism of Rudy being hired on President Trump's team, and the official headline today was that he was hired to officially help Mueller end the investigation of President Trump. And they've said that President Trump is no longer under investigation. He never was. I wrote a whole column about how this was a sting operation and that Hillary Clinton was always the focus of this investigation, Hillary Clinton and her crew. And when President Trump says that the investigation into him was a witch hunt, I believe he's saying that on purpose because Hillary Clinton literally is a witch. She practiced witchcraft. She goes to witches' covens. Like, she's been going to occult meetings in LA for decades. So when President Trump says that it's a witch hunt, I think it's his way of messing with these freaks and letting them know that, yeah, it really is a witch hunt because the target is a witch and her name's Hillary Clinton. So this is a really big deal that Rudy Giuliani is joining President Trump's team. I believe that they are, the stage, as Q would say, the stage is set, and they're ready to finally expose the truth about the contents that was found on Anthony Weiner's that proves that they're all involved in trafficking children. And just one last thing I want to mention, you guys. I dug this up. So I found an article that came out last year talking about how Rudy Giuliani, when they opened the second investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails that's linked to the Wiener laptop, Rudy Giuliani was doing some interviews, and what they tried to do is they tried to say that since sources from the FBI and NYPD had given him information about that those officers violated the Hatch Act, and they tried to, get them in trouble for that. Like, God forbid, like, even if they did, break some, I don't know, some rule or law, like, can you blame them for wanting to tell people about the contents of child sex trafficking, rape, and the torture of kids, the murder of kids on a laptop? I mean, if you were a police officer and you knew this was going on and you knew that your boss wasn't doing anything about it, like, wouldn't you want to tell everyone? So anyways, Rudy Giuliani was asked in an email about he was asked in an interview about the second email investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. And the interviewer said, did you know about this FBI investigation? And his response was, quote, "You're darn right I heard about it." That man knows, you guys. He knows exactly what's been going on. And he's pissed. And so is President Trump. And these MFers, it's time for them to go down. I am so sick of this stuff. I'm so sick of seeing their ugly faces running around. They need to go to Gitmo yesterday. So anyways, all of this is good news. The fact that Rudy joined Team Trump, this is huge. These elite pedophiles, they are shaking in their boots, you guys. They are shaking in their medical boots right now because they're all going down. It's only a matter of time. Thanks for tuning in. Follow me on Twitter. Should be out Facebook jail tonight or tomorrow. We shall see. And God bless you all. Oh, one more thing. Today is an occult holiday. April 19th, the next 13 days. These are huge occult holidays with an emphasis on the elite Satanists, whatever you want to call them. They have a lot of rituals during the next 13 days where they sacrifice humans. And there's a focus on sacrificing kids. So please pray extra hard during these next 13 days that these people are exposed and they are not able to hurt any more children, and that they are not able to hurt or sacrifice any more humans, but especially children, because it's a very critical time right now. These are some of their favorite holidays. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Again, I'm on Twitter at LizCrokin, on Facebook. Should be out of jail soon. And that's that.